Knights Valley, one of the premier AVAs for Bordeaux varietals, and there's a spot dead center of just under 1 acre. Welcome to Moran Manor. Brady, fantastic to see you again.
Great to see you.
And I was intrigued by this little project you have from the moment you said it. And I've been a fan of Knights Valley for a long time, some famous producers here. But tell people exactly where we are in Knights Valley.
We're like dead in the center of Knights Valley here. We are halfway between Healdsburg and Calistoga, just on the other side of like the Napa County line here. We're in Sonoma County, but the Napa County line's maybe just 3 or 4 miles down the road there. But this is the heart of the valley. This is the valley floor. This is the rich center of Knights Valley basically here. And it is just like a prime place for growing big red grapes like what we're doing here.
No, and you're not the only one that's growing big red grapes. Here, there's a small little garage project that surrounds you, I think.
Yeah, that's right. So we have a total of 10 acres here, but 600 acres that surround us, 600 plus acres is all Beringer Knights Valley. This is one of their biggest vineyards. They surround us on all 4 sides.
So you are not getting a tractor through here anymore. So how do you harvest this?
This is all handwork. Everything we do is by hand here. So it's myself, it's my family. We do have a crew that comes in and helps us with some of the bigger work. But essentially it's 100% everything by hand.
So Knights Valley terroir.
Knights Valley, this is a real interesting area because this is a warm day, right? And it gets really hot here. But even on days when it's 99, 100 during the day, the nighttime temperatures still go down in the mid-50s. And that big swing helps everything preserve acidity here. So even though we're in like a really rich, generous area, those cool nights help this maintain acidity through the process. So, so we get wines that, have deep, big fruits, big berries, blackberries. I mean, it's dense. There's no kidding that everything is rich here.
And so what is case production? Because I would imagine with less than an acre, you can't go too high.
Yeah, a great question. Good year here is 2¼ tons, which we can probably fill 5 barrels, get to close to 120 cases, let's say.
Okay. And when you began and took over the winemaking project in 2018, obviously the vineyard's been in your family for a long time, so you've walked the rows 100 times. What are you particularly looking stylistically with that richness that you talked about to come forth? And is it ageability? Is it approachable early on? Is it all of the above? What's your flavor profile that you want to kind of exemplify in the brand?
Yeah. Well, I would say it really recently, and especially in the last 4 years, I've really learned it's like listening to what's happening during the year itself. Some years, when we're looking at doing a blend from the whole field, doing a field blend, we're looking at maybe something more like a table wine, something that we would drink a little sooner, something that we would, not necessarily want to age a whole lot. We'd want to, drink it with friends. But in years when we're bottling Merlot and Cab on their own, we're hitting that with new oak, brand new French oak. We're really investing in, chasing that richness, really chasing that profile that makes Knights Valley, such a robust area.
Well, and it's been a robust area for 30 plus years. I mean, you have some famous neighbors. You mentioned Beringer, you have Peter Michael up the road.
Just up the road, yeah.
You have Knightsbridge across the road. Do you ever consult with them and say, I've got a funky question, or how are you guys handling this, and kind of borrow from each other?
Yeah, I would say that's a big part of the wine business just altogether.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, not kidding, the Beringer guys have come over and offered to help as they've seen me working out here in the fields. My parents are a little more connected with Peter Michael. I don't know if they're talking vineyard projects as much. And then the Knightsbridge people, I actually just met for the first time last year. Yeah, it's a community. It's a community. I've actually got a lead on someone in Knights Valley who's dry farming, and with water being sort of a constant
Scarcity.
project around here. Thinking about dry farming is something I really want to talk to the neighbors about.
Understood. And so 2018, you're now in your 4th vintage. Where do you see the brand in 5 years, in 10 years, Mother Nature willing?
Yeah, well, I'd love to plant more. I'd love to get a little more flexibility off the site. But what I'd love to do is get to the place where, I'm making 10 barrels a year, and then after 10 barrels a year, I'm thinking 12 barrels a year, and getting to the point where, I can really have a presence with the wine. And I think that's probably in the 400 to 500 case range where I could really sort of make an impact with it.
Well, so far everything we've tasted has been fantastic, so the future looks pretty bright.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So good to catch up with Brady Moran and Moran Manor. The wine speaks for itself. It's gonna cap out at 100 cases regardless, so do yourself a favor, get some of this wine. Thank you so much for all your support.